Time now for sports with Scott Breen.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking hoops tonight and updating a story I brought you just a couple of weeks ago on how a history teacher up in Fairfield tried to spice things up for his online class. Well, he cold called Mark Cuban, NBA owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and asked about a Zoom interview. Cuban called him back, went on to have a little fun with his Fairfield class for almost 25 minutes. Right now, we share some of the best moments and answers from that interview, starting with how Cuban and his family are dealing with this quarantine.
He's just trouble. All he wants to do is play Minecraft all day. You know, I've got 3 kids, 10, Jake you met, and 13 and 16, Alyssa and Alexis. My 16-year-old daughter hates me. Nobody likes it, so we're trying to create as much forced family fun as we possibly can, movie nights.
One student asked Cuban about his first job. No surprise, it was basketball related.
When I was a kid, I went to my dad and said I wanted basketball shoes because I've always been a basketball junkie. And he was playing poker with his buddies, and he was like, those tennis shoes on your feet, those basketball shoes you got on right now, they look like they work. When you have a job, you can buy whatever you want. Same thing I tell my kids. And I'm like, Dad, I'm 12 years old. How am I going to get a job? And one of his poker buddies was like, look, I've got all these boxes of garbage bags. Why don't you go door to door in your neighborhood and sell them? And that's what I did. So it got me my first pair of nice basketball shoes, but also got me into selling things and starting my own little business that way.
Here's his advice on how, if he were a teenager, he'd try to set himself up for life right now.
If I were 16 years old and looking for a job, I'd become an Alexa expert. They have these things called scripts where you can program it to do certain things and have fun with it or set things up for other families. And now, as we try to go back to work, you know, people are going to want to touch things less. So voice activation is going to be more important.
Cuban started Shark Tank on TV a few years ago for young entrepreneurs. This is his favorite success story.
She had started a scrub that she used to make her skin nicer and to help with her eczema that she had when she was a kid. She came on when she was 19 years old, doing $40,000 a year in business. Now she's doing $2 million a year in business, making hundreds of thousands of dollars in profits.
And Cuban's parting words of encouragement to Fairfield's U.S. history class?
No, you know what? I'll give you one better piece of advice. You're going to have that one idea. Everybody does, right? And you're going to get that feeling in your stomach where it's like, oh, this is a great idea. Then you're going to talk to your friends. They're going to be, oh, that's a good idea. I'd buy one. And then you're going to go online and you're going to say, nobody does it. When you get that feeling, do it. Ask yourself, why not me? And it wouldn't shock me that 10 years from now when we look back and say, you know what, these were some really cool businesses that changed the world, that it was some kid from Montana that did it. So if you got a good idea, now's the time to let it fly.
Dallas Mavericks owner Mark Cuban just called back Mike Schmidt's U.S. history class on a whim. That's what happens when you let it fly.